What's up? What's up? My name is Royce the 5'9". I come from Detroit, Michigan, and right now you're checking out Hot New Hip Hop. Well, the whole album definitely follows kind of a narrative, but it's not as personal. I'm actually coming after this with another album that'll be more personal. But I didn't want to come on that strong the first time back. Trust the Shooter is that'll serve as the mixtape, but we calling it an EP. And Trust the Shooter it's an EP. It's giving me opportunity to launch my company. Like, there's a lot of new things that I'm doing, and I'm just trying to find cool ways to introduce them. We'll launch the website for my company, Bad Half Entertainment, and the EP it'll basically just give you a glimpse into things to come for the company throughout the year. And then Layers drops April 15th, and I got another album pretty much ready to go after that, and that album is called Book of Ryan, and it's really, really a lot of the things that I want to share. Speaking specifically about Layers, I mean it has a little bit of a political influence, a little bit. Nostalgia is the biggest, and that's only because I haven't had nostalgic feelings in 10, 15 years because I was an alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still am, but I've been sober for almost 4 years. So when I decided to get sober, all the nostalgia started hitting me, and my memory started working in a way that I didn't know it would work. When you're drinking every single day, you don't have memories. Like, really, I got to the point where I didn't want to wake up and remember too much from last night, because then I feel like I didn't drink enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how bad it got for me. So once I started getting hit with all of these memories, it was just like, that was like my biggest influence. That was driving me to go to the studio. And then all of these things start pouring out. Like, I told a lot of stories where it was just like, I don't even want to talk about that. And I just scrapped the song. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just letting it out.
Right.
And it was therapeutic. So nostalgia is the biggest influence on the album. But I tried to touch on a lot of things, and I did everything in like a reflective way. I talked about things that I went through while making all of the albums, things that I went through just over periods of my life. You know what I mean? That's a good question. That's exactly what I did before I wrote Tabernacle. That's exactly what made me want to write Tabernacle, because I was always aware that I met Marshall, my son was born, and my granny died on the same day. I knew that one. That was the obvious. It wasn't until I started reflecting sober and I started having conversations with my mom that I was able to put these different things together, like the 5th floor and the 9th floor. Her being at 5 centimeters dilated and having to get to about 8 or 9 before we can deliver. All of these things, like, I'll put those into perspective. And if you into that type of shit, with how the universe works and all of that, and you believe in these things, then it's very interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I didn't remember that the same way until I talked to my mom. And one thing that I didn't share in that story was the guy that hit my granny in the car accident was drunk. He was a drunk driver. So it's just wild, man. It's crazy. I think what we got to realize is that there's some level of genius in all of us, and the brain is a very, very strong organ. If you start to teach it that it needs to be dependent on a substance, then you're gonna live by that. And then you're an honest artist. If you're an honest artist like I am, you're gonna portray whatever it is, whatever you taught yourself to think. And it takes a long time to reverse it. It took me maybe 2 years to make music that I was comfortable with. And then I developed a lot of issues because I missed out on a lot of development doing everything drinking. So I had a lot of anxiety issues when I first got sober. Like, I wouldn't be able to sit and have this conversation with you without having butterflies, anxiety. Knowing that the last thing you want to do is keep putting things into your system that you're going to become dependent on. You know what I'm saying? So going into the studio, if I feel like it's a necessity for me to have a bottle and it's killing my health and it's killing my brain and it affected the quality of my work, I don't think fans want to admit it, because when they've been riding with you so long, I guess they don't want to be wrong. But you can listen back to some of that shit. You can tell where it was like a little too sloppy You know what I'm saying? Not as direct as I would have liked it to be. Not as clear and not as sharp. I like sharp, clear music. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I like a lot of artists. I like a lot of artists who do drugs and drink and shit like that. But I definitely feel like it's because of you. It's not because of the substance. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna make something that's gonna make you a better artist. You know what I'm saying? Like if you was born to do that, you were born to do that. And if you get yourself on a roll and used to doing it without it, you'll never need it. You introduce it to your system and get your system used to it, and it's gonna be hard to shake it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the worst place you can be as an artist. That and seeking validation. You know what I'm saying? And seeking validation comes along with that, with being an addict. So that's my 2 cents, my deep 2 cents for the day for artists.